Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. And today we are focusing on the micro, small and medium enterprises. Well, there's a new thing coming on board, and that's actually MSME Development Trust Fund. That's actually what we'll be talking about and see what exactly the people proposing this MSME Trust Development Trust Fund want to achieve with it. And I have here with me the Executive Secretary, National Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, Mr. A.K. Ubiji, and of course, the Chairman, National Association of Microfinance Banks, Mr. Valentine Wensu. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, talking about this MSME Trust Development Trust Fund, I mean, you're a group of associations of which these two associations are part of it. What exactly is this trust fund? What is the aim? What do you intend to achieve with this trust fund?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. The aim, or what we intend to achieve, is this. You know, last year, that was 2014, the Central Bank of Nigeria launched the 220 million MSME Development Fund.
Exactly.
And it has its own guidelines and stipulates how people could access this 220 billion.
From their various states.
Exactly. And it mentioned the issue of PFIs, participating financial institutions, through which you can access the MSME Development Fund. And since then, till now, that's some months now, what we are seeing is not really very clear. The issue is that as at this week, authoritatively speaking, a very senior person at CBN said only 5 commercial banks, commercial banks are part of the PFIs, have signed an MOU with the CBN to implement this. Now the question is this: how many commercial banks do we have in Nigeria that only 5 could sign MOU with the CBN to implement the MSME Development Fund? So there's a gap.
Now, the commercial banks signing MOU, well, I thought the funds were supposed to go to the state government, because I know some of the state governments have actually given out part of the first phase of the tranche of whatever they get. For instance, the Delta State government got about 2 billion. I've given out about 500. So.
I think I also have to come in here. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think the fund is progressing, really. It's progressing. Apart from the commercial bank that have signed the MOU, I can say that the way the money is being disbursed is in 3 phases. Phase 1, that is the microfinance or the PFI that apply directly, and they will be assessed by CBN before disbursement. And then there's also a disbursement through state governments. And so far, for the microfinance, I can say that as at Microfinance Bank, we have well over 16 microfinance banks that have accessed this fund, although compared to 860 MFB that exist in this country. I will also say that, but indirectly, that is through the state government, because the state government too are not supposed to give this money directly to the ultimate beneficiary. They do it through the microfinance bank. So the indirect, that is what I call the indirect disbursement, that one has been done by state. We have close to about 50 MFBs. So if you add it together, it's about 60-something MFBs that have accessed this fund. I think it just started and is moving gradually. And like my colleague just rightly say here, but we are looking at it that it should be more than that. And I think as people are applying, they are assessing it. So the MSME Development Trust Fund, the initiative really is that we came together as the people, over 65 million subscribers are in this MSME Development Trust Fund. And we think that this money is actually meant for us. The microfinance are the people that provide these funds when they collect it from CBN to the other PFIs that are society, like Cooperative Federation of Nigeria. So what we said is that, okay, it is time, I think we should set up a trust fund that we can also administer this fund on our own, since we have these members directly that need this fund. And that is the reason why we have this MSME Development Trust Fund. 1, for collaboration with Central Bank of Nigeria. 2, to also possibly act as the managing agent, so that our members can have more to get this fund. And thirdly, because of this financial inclusion, if you talk about financial inclusion, who are these people that we want to include in the financial net? These are this set of people in Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, National Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, National Association of Microfinance Bank, really, that are the agents that are passing it, and some All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Nigerian Student Association of Students. We have over 20 million there. For Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, have over 40 million members in that cooperative in this country. So that's the reason for the aggregation, to see what we can do to financially include it and take it.
Okay, the microfinance banks are to manage this fund. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, we are not managing. We are the agent through whom to disburse this fund. We are the one banking these people. We are the one bringing these people into financial net, and we don't do it alone. We have people like Cooperative Federation of Nigeria as our customers. We are together. We have National Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. My colleagues there, we have them as our customers. So what we are saying is that the rate at which the disbursement is not as what we expected. So as fast, and that's what informed this collaborative agent to
now,
work with CBN.
This development trust fund, you're talking about a fraction of the 220 billion naira that CBN gave out for MSME. So how much are we looking at?
It's about 50 billion.
50 billion.
Yeah.
Now, have you
if the CBN can give that to the MSME Trust Fund.
Now, have you thought about the risk involved in terms of managing it? Now we can see what's happening. Interest rate, it's high now. So how do you? What's the process? How do you? What's the methodology? How do you intend to get it done?
Okay. Luckily, the Nigerian Association of Microfinance Banks is part of this initiative. So when you talk of, how to mitigate the risks, the association houses all the microfinance banks in Nigeria. I know for you to be called a microfinance bank, you must be registered by the CBN and you must comply with the said guidelines for registration. Automatically, you are qualified and competent to manage this type of resources.
All right. Now, I know that microfinance banks were basically set up to actually provide finances for these set of businesses. But would you say that they have actually done well in that? So how are you sure that this fund will be properly managed?
Well, the fund will be, what we are lacking in that sector is finance. That is funding. Is one of our challenge, and we keep saying it every now and then.
Funding the
because
banks.
what we have in this country, clearly, let me quickly explain. What we have in this country is investor base, unlike ownership. What we are driving at is ownership. If Cooperative Federation of Nigeria have a microfinance bank, they are the owner of that microfinance bank. What we have in Bangladesh, why this organization are succeeding, is because they are owned by the people who they are banking. However, in Nigeria, it's a set of 7 or 8 persons that come together and fund and invest in a microfinance bank. And in that regard, when you have a customer base of about 200,000 and things like that, funding at a point become a challenge for you. And that's the reason why this initiative by Central Bank of Nigeria is a very good initiative. And I keep telling everybody, it's a part to development in this country. And so when we have this fund, I think we'll be able to reduce to barest minimum, the poverty alleviation, will be able to reduce to barest minimum these funding challenges that we have in the subsector. So if you see from the Elfina report, that is the rating agent of this subsector, you will see that the microfinance subsector has been improving right from 2008. By today, what we are, if we have more of this fund, you will see more improvement, you see more economic development of this country.
Now, at what rate are we looking at in terms of interest rate?
No, it won't be more than 9%. This particular fund,
the same 9% for the 220.
Yeah, it's not going to be more than 9%. Sure. It's not going to be more than.
In addition to what he said, because that question you asked is quite critical, not the interest rate. The interest rate is 9%. But in terms of ability of the microfinance banks to do that, yes, he has said there are about 800 and something microfinance banks in the country. Agreed. Even to participate in the disbursement of the MSME Development Fund currently, you must meet with certain criteria set by the CBN. It's not just everybody's game. So even the Microfinance Bank Association must have a self-regulatory mechanism by which members who can disburse this money will be checked before this fund is given to them. It's not just going to be an all-comers affair. But the issue is that we want to, have this mechanism of ownership, so that you don't just give money to other people to disburse to those who need it. But now the stakeholders are involved in the process. That's what we're looking at.
All right. Now, you know that part of the challenge here is the fact that most of these businesses, and that is what most of the banks are talking about, the commercial banks complain about, most of these businesses do not know how to, first of all, package their business plan and, of course, come up with a very good proposal. So isn't that what your associations should strive at, towards helping your members to come up with good business proposals and business plans?
The MSME, if you look at the way the MSME Trust Fund is planned to run itself, there are about 3 platforms it's going to run on. One is the MSME Microfinance Bank, which will handle the disbursement of funds and all whatnot. The second aspect is the MSME Development Finance Institution. That institution, particular institution, will handle the issue of addressing the skill gaps, either within the associations or disbursing agents. It's going to handle training and so on and so forth. You understand what I'm saying? The third component is the issue of mobile money. My cash card, it's going to address the issue of e-payment, so that even a shoe shiner can have his card that he can use to access money anywhere if it's registered. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to address the question you raised on the issue of deficiencies in the capacity and so on and so forth. There is already an earmarked institution, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Microfinance Development Institution to handle that.
That's
skill gaps. Yes.
All right. Just hold your thoughts out. Let's just quickly take a short break. Well, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we will continue with that conversation. We're looking at developing the micro, small, and medium enterprises by way of making them have access to funding. We'll be back shortly.